Good evening.
Good evening. I take it the recording has already begun.
Yes. Now that you know the drill, start from the beginning.
Well, I was taking in my vehicle for basic repairs. I've been keeping hearing this strange sound coming from the backside of my car. So I took it to my mechanic. He's some type of back backwards outback type of mechanic. You know the type the what you call it, try to fix things with what you got type of mechanic. And as I was pulling away from him, from his mechanic shop, the other building next to his building, through the fence, I saw a dinosaur. So immediately I hopped out of my vehicle and grabbed my shock stock pistol.
The shock stock pistols, they're based on your shock stock weaponry design, correct? Your file did state that you're an inventor in your free time, developing and inventing different new types of gadgets, weaponry, and so forth and so on.
Yes, in my earlier youth days, I designed a taser like weapon, a ranged taser, basically. The electricity is contained within the bullet, and the bullet works like a type of battery. And when the bullet is launched, no matter where the bullet lands, the head, the neck, the pinky, the electricity will ensure the target is down. With the help of some coalition doctors and engineers, I managed to create the shock stock weaponry. Some agents like to call it stinger weaponry because of the shocking sting they get, but in reality it's called the shock stock weaponry. And then I patronize it and I get a nice sum of cash on the end of the month for every rifle that is built by the coalition using my design.
And that's how you manage to fund for all the damages you've been causing and for future weaponry and gadget designs.
Yes, but back to the mission. I went out of my vehicle, grabbed my Stinger pistol or shock stock pistol. Even the soldiers saying have been rubbing off on me. Even I'm calling it a Stinger. Well, I took my shock stock pistol, loaded non-lethal rounds in, set the tase to medium, went around the fence and approached the creature. Luckily, most of the mechanics, if not all the mechanics, were in the shop at the time, and I approached the creature, and I believe it was a Gallimimus.
Orpheomimus.
Excuse me?
It was an Orpheomimus, same family as Gallimimus, but rest assured a different species.
Hold up. Firstly, how do you know that? And secondly, how do you know it's an Orpheomimus and not a Gallimimus?
Security cameras.
Huh?
Do you really think a mechanic shop like yours that has multiple cars and multiple expensive parts wouldn't have security cameras?
Fair enough. And how do you know it's an Orpheomimus and not a Gallimimus?
Size difference. The Orpheomimus is half the size of the Gallimimus.
It could have just been a younger version of a Gallimimus.
Not really. The Gallimimus had a longer, slopier type of snout and more shorter and robust hands than the Orpheomimus. That's how I could see the difference between species and knew what species you were up against.
Hmm. And I thought I was a dinosaur nerd.
I am not a dinosaur nerd.
Would have fooled me.
What I am is someone who cares about accurate reports and who is a workaholic, whose job entail the understanding cryptid biology and habitats, alien cultures and politics, ghost habits and histories, time and space portals, ferrodynamics, and quantum mechanics, and yes, prehistoric extinct animals, species, and timelines. Can we please continue?
Long day?
Yes, an extremely long day. Can we please finish up?
Sorry. Not to mean to offend or anything.
Like I said, it's a long day. Please continue.
Well, I moved around the fence, like I said, and moved up to the creature. And trying to look around where this creature came from. Very interesting. It did not fear me. It did not look frightened in any way. Actually looked docile almost. Nope, I tried to shoo it. I couldn't really remove the suppressor from my pistol because that sound would draw in more people from the workshop to come see this creature, which would have led to a bigger cover up. So, and I couldn't shoot it because the tase would have incapacitated the creature, so I made my arms look big and tried to shoo it. Luckily, he slowly started moving to this door opening to the building it was near, and it looked like another type of mechanic shop, but there was nobody there at the moment, thank goodness. And I saw there was a portal open, so I tried to shoo it in. He was terrified. He didn't want to go in. And I was struggling trying to get him in. At this point I was really considering removing the suppressor and start shooting just to scare him in. But like I said, I would have drawn too much traction. So I removed my shirt and tried to wave it around. He was almost about to go in. Right before I shoved him in, something else came through the portal. It looked like a Velociraptor, a Deinonychus.
Ladoemanatrix.
Sorry?
Ladoemanatrix. It's a family of the Trudon. You can see by the bigger eyes and the more slender build, which as well tells to me that this was an Orpheomimus and not a Gallimimus, seeing that Gallimimus was an Asian dinosaur, while the Orpheomimus and the Ladoemanatrix were both North American dinosaurs.
Right. And camera?
Yes, for the scary cameras. Not to worry, both cameras were scrubbed.
Agent MC, quickly answer a few questions of mine. What type of ghost moves items?
Poltergeist.
What planet does the Greys call home?
Zeta Reticula.
What is the ancient Egypt god of chaos?
Hef.
Who filmed the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film?
That would be Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. Have I set aside all your answers?
For now.
If that's the case, please continue.
Alright. So, the Orpheomimus in this latter trick was staring at each other, and the Latrix was preparing to jump on the Orpheomimus. How to save the creature? I aimed my Stinger pistol 3 rounds into the Latrix, and the creature went down. The Orpheomimus looked at me and scurried right back into the portal. At that moment, Coalition backup agent arrived.
Yes, you didn't mention calling in for backup.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that at the beginning.
For the future reference, please be as detailed as possible.
Alright. The portal was still stable, and we couldn't keep the Latvitrix here, so I asked 3 other agents to help me pull the creature back through the portal. Even though it's against protocol that any agent should go through a portal. But if we leave the creature here, history unravels. The person who discovers this creature might not discover it, which could change history. Nazis rule the world, the moon landing never happened, and so forth and so on. So I asked the 3 agents to help me pull the creature through. It's always amazing seeing the past, this other world, yet alien yet familiar. The first thing that comes over you is the heat and the huge amounts of oxygen. And I looked down the hill and I saw the Orpheomimus with his herd fleeing away, and the Laphatrix pack eating on another Orpheomimus kill. Looks like they will be there for a few hours. There will be enough time for our little killer here to wake up. I removed the taser rounds, make sure he was laying in the correct position so that breathing could flow through. We went back through the portal and closed the doors of the shop, saying that there was a gas leak, and waited until the portal closed.
Right? What went right? What went wrong? And what would you have changed?
What went right is we managed to get both creatures back to where they belong. I know it's against protocol to go through a portal, in case it closes behind us, leaving us stuck in an alternate timeline or an alternate dimension, with almost 0% chance of coming back. But this creature lived a life of freedom, open space, and is now and being confined to a closed environment. Even though the only rule that it broke was existing and going to a place it didn't belong. So if I had to choose to do it over again, yes, I would definitely drag that creature back through the portal where it belongs, despite the risk to me. What went wrong was the amount of time I tried to scare the Orpheomimus back to where it came from. I should have, in reality, it didn't dawn on me at the time. I should have put my shocker on very low stun, my shock stock pistols, and just give him a light shot with the pistol, even though that pain and that shock could have scared it off the road. I should have taken that chance and shooting and hoping it would run to the portal. It took way too long scaring him from where people could see him back to the place where the portal was. So what I would change is I would have screamed, I would have made a bit more noise trying to scare him back. And what would I have changed? What I wish I would have changed was I didn't have to shoot the landfare tricks. But if I didn't shoot him, the Orpheomimus would be dead. So really, there's nothing I would have changed.
Nothing at all?
Nothing comes to mind. It went perfectly. Like I said, if I had to choose, I wouldn't have shoot the Lanftrix, but it had to happen. And that is my report.
Fair enough, Agent. I'll see you when I see you.
And, Agent, whatever problem you had today, I hope you can fix it. And if there's any method of I can help you with, please let me know.
No. It's just people mislabeling paperwork. I'll handle it, but thank you. Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day, Agent.